All right. Oh my gosh.
I realize it's a lot. I really do.
It's not that it's a lot, because the truth be told, it's not a lot, but it's a very small amount that's like laid out. It's like taking, all right, imagine having three pieces of paper. All right.
Mm-hmm.
You take one piece and you lay another piece on top of that one, but halfway into it, and then you fold the top piece over, and then you put a third piece in between that top piece, and then you cut a slit in that third piece and fold the bottom piece into up and into that piece, and then the top of the middle. See how fucked up it gets? You can't even follow that shit, and you fold that back up under it. That's what this fucking shit is. It's not that complicated. It's like it has a very limit. That was gross. A very limited amount of elements, but they're all so interwoven that it makes almost no sense.
Yeah.
Because it's just heartless nobodies in the organization. That's kind of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's basically the only three things you need to be able to keep up with. Oh no, and the unversed. Because I say the unversed gets complicated because like the only thing that sets them apart is the symbol.
Yeah, because the unversed aren't specifically about hearts. They're more about like negative emotions.
Which I feel was like one of the other writers, like, yeah, this whole heart thing is cool, but what if we just fed off of people being, angry or whatever the fuck? And so he was just like, yeah, so I'm on just this. This is what I'm doing now.
Okay, so the main thing that's like bugging me about this I was gonna say castle because I just heard Goofy say castle. But the main thing that's bothering me about this game is I don't quite understand this whole like bringing Roxas and Naminé back thing that they're trying to do because from my understanding okay, so when this game wasn't coming out, like when it was first like being announced, I was like, okay, what I imagine is gonna happen is they're gonna realize that Ventus's heart is in Sora, and they're gonna be like, we have to get Ventus back, and that was gonna be the main plot. But that's not what the main plot is. The main plot is getting Roxas back, which Roxas is part of Sora. So that makes no fucking sense to me.
Okay, but see, Roxas is a part of Sora, but so Roxas's heart and Ventus's heart make Sora's heart, because that's kind of what's being said right now. They
Well,
can't
there's
wait.
also Shion. Don't forget Shion.
How many hearts does Sora have? I feel like if you tally it all up, he has like two and either a heart and a half to two hearts. Because I understand that at one point he was in a block of ice because they had taken his memories away.
Yeah,
and they had to regather
like
his memories to
like
wake him up.
Revitalized chamber while they were piecing his memories together. And so that was when Roxas. Okay, so that was when Roxas and Shion had his memories, and they took the memories from Shion, who was a puppet, given a piece of Sora's heart.
And that was the girl who
And
didn't
then
exist. Shion was the girl who didn't exist.
that was yeah.
Okay.
She was just yeah.
She didn't exist, which I don't fucking understand. That I don't get. That I don't get.
She was a puppet
She
that
didn't
was just
exist.
Memories.
Okay, so she was like
she was just given a
DiCaprio.
piece of-
You know who
That's more or
DiCaprio is?
less. I mean, I might. I don't think so, though.
DiCaprio is a character in Street Fighter, and basically, DiCaprios are kind of like these husks that M. Bison creates. I think to like put his will, like his mind or some shit, into their bodies. So basically, he creates them, kind of trains them, or whatever the fuck, and gets them. I think it's like kind of like making a Horcrux, but not making a Horcrux. It's a contingency plan for his demise, I think. But it's been a long time since I had to travel down that fucking road, so don't take my don't like. I just know that DiCaprio in Street Fighter has a lot to do with Bison. It's very like they are linked to Bison directly. Um,
The main thing I'll try to explain to you about Shion is when she was created, she was given a piece of Sora's heart, and the weird thing was is that she slowly took more and more of his memories and more of his being.
yeah, and she became real off of that.
Yeah, so she was gonna slowly take it away, and that's why at some point she genuinely decided, okay, you need to kill me. Like, someone needs to kill me, so she
Because
started
if
picking
they
fights with.
didn't, then he wouldn't be able to have them back.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Like the weird thing is, it's like the individual parts of this all make sense, but it's when you try to it's like it's they put this kid's memories in this girl's in this girl. This girl isn't necessarily a person. She's a created human. You know, she's a created bipedal organism, but she's
Yeah,
not really
but
real.
mind you, like over time she did become her own person. She just like did have bits of his memory. Like it was mostly that she was her own person who
But
was obsessed
when we
with
say that she's
Cecil
not a
husband.
person, she wasn't born. She was created.
No, yeah, she was created.
Okay, so she was kind of like Pinocchio in a very weird way, in a very direct way because it's fucking Disney. Like she's like Pinocchio, and she's slowly becoming real because she's living. You know, she's living because of Sora's memories, and she's living his memories. But within that, she becomes sentient in a really weird way because I feel like that's the only way to explain her understanding if he doesn't get these back, or if I don't die so he can have them back, he won't exist anymore, or he won't ever be able to get to a point again where he does exist.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what led her to become her own person, is because she became sentient, and at that point, she kind of didn't need his memories to exist. I hope I'm right about that, because I have
I
not
mean,
played the game that happens in.
because mind you, in that game is so long and so grindy. Like it's terrible to play. Like I'll be honest. Like
Which one is
when
it?
they put it in the it's 365 days over whatever the fuck.
God damn it!
Uh, but because when they put that in the HD collection, they didn't even put the game in. They just added like a bunch of like a bunch of stuff to read and cutscenes from the game. Like they knew it was bad. Um, but her and Roxas and Lee slash Axel when he was in the organization, they were all best friends. Like they slowly became best friends, and the thing that what's his name, Zemnis, kept trying to tell everyone in the organization was that you don't have hearts, you don't have feelings. Like you're incapable of feeling because you don't have hearts. So we need to make Kingdom Hearts so that we can have our own hearts and feel again. You know? Which was a lie because they did have feelings. They clearly had feelings. They could think and feel as much as they wanted to, but they were told that they didn't, so they believed that they didn't. So they did bad things for a bad person.
It's not what I would call good, but it is entertaining. Like
Anyway,
I
by the
I,
end
I,
of that,
I can't
uh,
say it's not entertaining.
they of course take Roxas and Shion back and put him back in the Sora more or less, and that makes Axel very sad, as it should because that was his best friends. So he's just evil man McEvilson from that point on.
So Lee becomes Axel, and Axel just decides to just be bad because they've hurt his feelings.
I mean, Axel decides to be bad because they killed his best friends, and what else is he supposed to do at that point?
I don't know. You tell me.
I mean, because the answer to all this, by the way, was all that had to happen was they had to kill a heartless that had their heart, and they had to kill the nobody, and then they just turned back into a human. That was the answer, by the way.
So that's all you have to do to restore a person is
Find the nobody and find the heartless, kill them both, and they become a human
and then
again.
the person comes back.
Yeah.
So in a very so
And
indeed in a very weird way, they make two people out of one person, except one of them is kind of a husk, and the other is
a
kind
monster.
of a puppet.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I'd say the heartless is a puppet, because the heartless is the thing you put the person's heart into. And so it's
Yeah.
a puppet being pulled by the strings that are the heart. And the husk would be the nobody who is like in some cases the form of the person whose heart has been removed. So it doesn't really. Which the thing is, I don't get how it thinks. I mean, they technically still have a spirit. Keep in mind, heart here doesn't mean the cardiac muscle. I assume it's like the spiritual idea of a heart, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because it's not their actual heart. They're still alive, but they don't have a spirit. But they have a spirit. This fucking game is batshit, yo.